That's not working. All right. Thank you to all the students teams for really wonderful presentations. I think I've learned a lot over the last couple of days, and I'm sure all teams have learned from other teams as well. I think everybody can recognize some of the same issues that all teams went through, so it sort of becomes really a common shared experience for all the teams who participated in the program. You have been working within your teams, in your communities for the past several months, almost a year now. But this is really what we wanted to do with this conference, is bring all the teams together so you can actually come to the understanding that this is really a common shared experience. This is something that all teams went through. You may have had very different scientific questions you started with. You may have had very different kinds of experiments and have different results. But eventually, what you come to realize is the process you went through, the same kind of difficulties you may have faced, are shared by other teams as well. So I think this is a really wonderful way to realize that this is really how science works. You overcome difficulties, you come up with solutions. Sometimes you end up with results you did not expect. And the real fun happens when you try to figure out why did you not get the results you expected. Because oftentimes that is really where the exciting science comes in. So I think all of you have done a remarkable job over the last year. I definitely hope that you don't stop here, not only in pursuing scientific careers in the future, in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But I also think that a lot of the questions that you have mentioned in your presentations over the last couple of days, several of you have said that your experiments actually led to more questions than answers. A lot of those answers, new questions, you can try and answer with the same experiments done on the ground. Issues such as contamination, how the results may change if you remove any contaminants from your experiment, they can actually help you understand exactly what happened better. And I hope you keep making those experiments over the next year. And as you know, we're also planning on bringing this program to the International Space Station. So if any of your communities, and we hope many of you do decide to run a program on the International Space Station, all of your teams are of course invited to try and rerun the experiment through the competition process. We'll start again this fall. So again, I want to thank all the experiment teams for your great presentations. I think everybody did a fantastic job, both of the oral presentations here, poster presentations yesterday, and I'm sure you're going to do a fantastic job to wrap up the conference with the poster presentations today. So I think all of you deserve a really warm round of applause, so thank you again. It really has been a remarkable experience from my viewpoint. But what I want to do now is just open up the floor to you for a few minutes. We're going to wrap up the program here at the Moving Beyond Earth Gallery. We're going to then set up our posters, and the box with your posters is located at the back of the room. So once we leave from here, we're going to hand out the posters to you. The table should be out there at the Space Race Gallery, same place where we were yesterday. You can put them out there, and we'll have an hour for you to talk amongst yourselves with other team members, as well as the general public about your program. But before we do that, there's a couple of things we're going to finish up with. But what I wanted you to do is take a few moments, come up to the microphone, and share your thoughts about the program, or especially about this conference. What did you think about this conference? What do you take out of this conference as you go home into your communities? And whether this is something that you would actually like to do again next year when we have our second annual conference. This was our first annual SSEP conference. Next year we'll have a new one. And we are curious to hear what you thought about this one and what you would like to do for the next one. So please come up to the microphone.
Hi, I'm the teacher facilitator from Lincolnwood, Illinois, and I find that the persistence that all of these students have shown in persevering in terms of re-examining everything they've done all along the way, and then even when they get the results back, as I help students with science fair, they always want to be right. They always want their hypothesis to be accurate. And I think a huge lesson is that you can be wrong, and that can be a wonderful answer in the beginning of more journeys of keeping your eyes open and trying again. And it's been a wonderful lesson, I think, for everybody.
And I think that is really a very good point, because a lot of times we take science as answers materializing out of thin air. You do an experiment and the answer is right there, and that hardly ever is the case. And what really is the case, if you look through the history of science, oftentimes the most important discoveries, the most exciting discoveries happen because somebody makes an experiment and then realizes, what happened? I didn't expect this result. And then when you try to answer that unexpected result is when you come up with something very new and exciting. So that's a very good point. And I'm glad you all got to experience it, even if it may have been very difficult at times to deal with the unexpected situation, unexpected discoveries. All right.
I just really want to thank SSEP for all of this experience. I think it gave all the students here a really good insight to the scientific process. You have to realize that science is a continual thing. You're not always going to get the results you expected the first time. That's why I have to keep trying and trying again. And even with the program, I think all of us are really excited to see the new improvements that are being made with the new containers that experiments are going to be held in and such. I think there are many new possibilities. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And that, of course, is one of the hallmarks of science, that if a result you get is not repeatable, it's not really science because it may be just a fluke result. So that, of course, is one thing. You want to always be able to repeat the results. All right. More comments.
Yeah, but on behalf of the parents that have students involved in this program, we really want to say thank you. It's been such a phenomenal experience for our children to be able to see science outside of the box of a classroom. You know, it's very hard in today's society for them to be presented with so much information in a short amount of time, but there's so much out there that they're not able to expose to unless they are able to do things like this. So we really appreciate the time and effort of all the faculties and staffs and universities that have pitched in, and the monies from our communities and those that have helped get our students here, but especially to SSEP for establishing something like that and realizing that these children, no matter what age they are the future. And they have to be given these opportunities, not only to go delve into science, but to speak in front of people like this, to present themselves in a professional and speak in an educated manner. It's an incredible experience. So I said thank everybody.
All right, thank you again. And we have another comment.
Well, I agree with what everyone said, but I want to say this has been the most beautiful place. I've had students present, I've had family nights, but this tops it all. So I just want to say thank you to Michael, to Dr. Harry, and I think we all just appreciate, I don't know what would top this. So that's my thank you, and it was a great project, but this is just a beautiful place for our students to present. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes. Michael Halsland is going to come up in a few minutes to talk about this afternoon, so I just wanted to thank him for doing a fantastic job. We wouldn't be here without his hard work, so he's really the man who has made this conference happen here.
Well, I want to thank SSEP for this wonderful experience. It's been really cool to be able to send the experiment into space.
All right, that's fine, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, and a lot of you students may have given your first presentation, scientific presentation at this conference here, but I'm sure for probably all of you, this is not going to be the last time. So I'm sure we'll be seeing you in conferences, in professional settings in 10, 15 years' time. So we're looking forward to that. I just want to thank you again, everybody, for coming here. I had a fantastic time. I hope you had a good time as well. And Michael's going to say a few words about the programs this afternoon. Thanks again.
I just wanted to comment on the conference. You guys know what the first conference was we had here in this gallery? It was a conference on the Hubble Space Telescope. The scientists involved in the research going on the Hubble Space Telescope were up here on the same stage you were, presenting the science that they were working on. So you're kind of keeping really cool company. The last group of NASA folks we had up on this stage too, astronauts from STS-132. So again, it's pretty cool company that you've kept inside this gallery, don't you think? And I hope that if you become scientists, engineers, or even astronauts, you'll come back to the Air and Space Museum, come back up on this stage, and present again for us. Other than that, thanks again for coming to the National Air and Space Museum. I hope you have a wonderful stay in Washington, and please make sure to come back tomorrow to watch the launch. It'll be right up there on that screen tomorrow at 11:30, actually 11:26, weather permitting, of course, so keep your fingers crossed. Thanks a bunch, guys. Have a wonderful stay.